विपरीतमधिप्रबोधान् वादानिरसकृतवान् भुवितत्त्ववादं सर्वेश्वरो हरिरीति प्रतिपादकं तम् आनन्दतीर्थमुनिवर्यं नमामि। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Friends, welcome once again to the episode of third Valli of Kathopanishad. We have seen so far as to the great mantra based on which the Swami Vivekananda has given the clarion call not only to the Indians, the entire the world. He gave it to tell that because it is finally that you have to be after you have to arise awake, stop not till the goal is reached. This is a simple word he has given with a lot of philosophical intonation. This has been given in such a way that it could be understood by the Western world also. The difference between our philosophy and the Western philosophy is, in the Western philosophy, they are talking about the other person's other things, not about themselves. Whereas in Indian philosophy, we are trying to explore into the inner being of our core. So therefore, because we try to we are getting to the core of ours, find out what is the best thing that we can bring about in development of because our own self growth in terms of living in this world, as well as our spiritual growth. When we growth, we mean it is not only the physical growth, it is the psychological growth, and as well as your cultural growth. Cultural growth, it is social, cultural and religious as it obtains in respective places. So this difference makes quite a lot of focus onto the self-development, because basically we are all the psychological creatures. What we have as the what we have, the psychological growth, in the sense it is not only the self-developments in terms of day-to-day living, it is also knowing the purpose for which we are living in this world, for which we have come into this world. Basically what happens is, because we have got, we are always, we are always being instigated by what we call the mind. The mind is a disembodied organ of the entire being. You cannot find in the physical body, it is somewhere in the subtle body, it is there. You have got a brain with synaptic connection, which is there in our physical body, but the subtle body has got the all other switches that controls all other sort of the control. It is like a control panel, for any of the sort of any of the industries. Like it has got everything. Control panel in the sense we have got a mind, we have got all the chakras, what we call the chakras. Chakras are nothing but the switches that are available to activate the respective glands. The glands and its effect can be seen physically and anatomically, but how to switch on those glands for the purpose of our own growth in terms of physical well-being, so that we can have a psychological well-being. So we are all psychological beings, because psychology only acts upon us, and all the action what we are taking in this place is based on what is being given by our mind. So the mind not only gives us the command, it also gets the right advice from the intellect, telling whether with the discriminating power whether what we are doing is right or wrong, and if it is so, how we have to act in this world. So this is exactly what has been talked about in this particular mantra, what we have seen. The great mantra, what we have seen, because that we have expounded last week. Just for the purpose of recap, we will just recite the mantra once again. Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varan Nibodita Shurasya Dara Nishita Duratyaya Durgam Payastat Kavayo Vadanti. In the sense, it is like what we are doing, you just arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. Stop not till the goal is reached, in the sense you are able to get the right knowledge. Till such time you are able to get off your ignorance. Because the point is that we do not know, we are ignorant. We think, we are all knowing, and so we can act as well in this world. But we do not have that right knowledge to act upon that. But we don't realize that in a normal world. We think, because we are all powerful, we have come here. Once you indulge in the world and be after the materialistic thing, you will be able to get into the best of whatever you have to get in this world, for which you have been striving day on and day off. So once we are getting into the cycle of struggle, morn to even, all the 365 days, right from the day you come into this world, through your education and through your profession, and finally through your family life. Suddenly, because there are occasions, but you still don't find the purpose of it, but you just go about doing it because things are happening as it is. So that means we are not able to apply ourselves as to how, in what route we are going and how we are going, whether it is right thing for us. In that process, if we could continuously live happily, there is no problem about it. But we are not able to. We are always in a quandary as to what we are doing is right or wrong. We do get into stalemates. We do get into the crossroads. We are not able to decide whether what we are doing, is beneficial to us, or is it going to be long-term helpful to us, to our family and the people who are living with us, our friends, our social circle and all. But every time, because when it happens, what happens is, always, since you are used to living in this world, there is always the expectation, logical expectation, how things will fall in place when you take certain actions. So basically, it is being controlled by the perceptions what we do have. The perceptions, are nothing but controlled hallucinations. That's what the psychologists say. Because even when you do something and immediately you expect, because your action will result in something, which you are proposing to get. But when it doesn't happen the way you want, or when it happens in a different way, you get the you get either dejected, or you feel you are not happy, and all those things that takes over you. So how to get out of this particular this egg and chicken and egg story? You have to act, but at the same time the effect of the action is not exactly what you are expecting. This is what actually. But if you expect everything happens, then there is no problem about it. But will it happen? Because the world is its own way, because when you are doing certain things, there are so many other people are doing the similar thing, or they are doing it in a better way. Because someone is more equipped, better equipped than you, and someone has got the various resources available to him. You have got a limited resources, or maybe you have got every resources, but you do not know the right way to get across and get the success, what you deem it in this world. So in order to get over that only, when we say, when you are able to reflect upon you time and again as to what you are doing, whether you are able to do and apply yourself at that point of time to this cause, what you have undertaken, that you will be achieving in this world. So that will give you lot of effort in knowing, because what is that, you can go about further. For that, because before we embark upon our own ability to excel in whatever we are doing, we are always being dissipated by seeing in the world, as to others who have succeeded, how they have succeeded, and how they have found a way out and all, because we are not able to get the same skill we are able to, because we are capable. Our capability is far more than what we have seen so far, because it is all hidden in us. We will have to find the treasure trove of skill and our own attitude to bring out to the core for the cause. That is what exactly has been brought about. Arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. This has been brought about. Stop not till the goal is reached in philosophically and psychologically. It denotes you will have to get the right person to get the experience, right, the knowledge and all. So because not only that, because knowledge is what? Because when you are able to get rid of your ignorance, that is knowledge. Knowledge is not something which is going to be added on to your inner core. It is just once you remove the ignorance, automatically the knowledge fills in. So knowledge is like sort of dirt. Once you remove it, the vessel becomes clear and the clean water can be filled in. So this is exactly what we are, because in normal day-to-day life, we are accumulating a lot of dirt. We will have to remove that. This is exactly, they said, stop not till the goal is reached. And they said that the path is not a very easy one. It is like a racer's edge. So when the racer's edge in it, when it's being talked about, because it is like, you will have to be mindful of so many things. It's not only that if you are walking on a racer's edge, barefoot, without any shoes or any protective equipment, for your feet, then you will have to be doubly careful so that it doesn't cut you, as well as you are able to get through that. It is as subtle as that. If it is so difficult, why one should embark upon such a journey? That's what the question will arise. The thing is, such a thing is available because more you go about it, you will be able to sharpen. So when you are able to sharpen, you get into the subtle thing, because we are all in the gross things. In the gross world, because when we talked about, we are made of all the 5 elements, and we are all the 5 elements are controlling us, and all the 5 elements are gross in nature. They are not subtle in nature. The subtlety can't be understood by the grossness, what we enjoy in this world. The grossness is whatever we see has got a combination of all the 5 elements, and that gives you the final propensity to indulge in this world. But once you know, because it's grass and all, then you will know the real thing, what is finally behind all these things. So next mantra, what we are going to see is going to explain this exactly, this concept. And this basically tells us how to find because when we talk about God, how to find our inner core, because in our inner core only the God is supposed to be residing in all of us. All of us are having the divine energy in us, whether you want to call it God, whether you want to call the ultimate power, because that has come to you, which is activating you, because the same power, which has created this entire world and operating this world, the same world, the same power is inside you. So how to get access to that power inside you and elevate yourself to such a level and find a treasure trove of skill and energy within you to bring it about to the core, and you can live a wonderful life. And this is only it explains what is the subtlety of the ultimate power, whom we call it as God, whom we call it as Bhagavan, whom we call it, because the omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. When we call all those powers, he is the one finally, the one he gives the entire energy to the world as well as to the beings. This is exactly been brought about in this philosophy, and we will also see, because how this approach conforms, to the worldview of the scientific development as well as the Western philosophy, how they have tried to approach, because their point of view is different, because as they have been trying to analyze the persons and things other than themselves, whereas in Indian philosophy, in particularly the great Sanatana Dharma, we are trying to explore our own inner being, which is more difficult to do, and because from there only you will be able to inexhaustible energy that is within you. you will be able to achieve much more than what anyone has done, and you yourself can do it. But are you able to access? Because the great people who have achieved great things, they had the ability to access that power and they were able to do it. But when they were able to do, they will have to go through the process. It needs certain self-discipline, it needs certain self-control. It is also tries to, because you will have the enormous ability to reflect upon the things. So from there, because you will be able to see as things appear, they are not the same one as they appear. They are different from what is appearing and all. In the sense, because whatever you are seeing is subject to change. Human being, all of us are subject to change. We were all a child, and we were all infant, and we were all grown-ups, and we have come to the senior level. We are most of us are seniors now, and a lot of youngsters are there. All of us are there. We have all undergone a change. We have not, because the same one. We can't get back the infancy again, because infancy is gone. If you take it as a birth and death, infancy is born and infancy is gone. But we are into the next stage, because now we will have to see what is appropriate and how to reflect and go about it. So therefore, whatever is happening is ephemeral. It is temporary, because we cannot be holding on to the temporary thing. The subtle energy and the subtle reflection and the subtle realization, which is all enabling you to achieve the far higher things if any human can achieve in this world, that is more subtler than any of these gross things. So that is being discussed in the next great mantra of Kathopanishad. It is the 15th mantra of 3rd Valli of the first chapter of Kathopanishad. It basically translates into something like philosophically a subtlety of the Supreme God. And if you are devout, bhakti, meditate on the supreme power, because that's what it says. So just we will recite the mantra and see what exactly it takes us to. Ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, avyayam, tada arasam, nityam, agatatvacha, yat. See, ashabdam. The subtle thing is devoid of any sound. It doesn't have any sound to tell. In the gross things, whatever you see in this world is capable of giving. It will have a sound. It will have. You will be able to feel. Asparsham. Asparsham in the sense you will be able to touch and feel. When you touch, you will be able to feel. Arupam, you will be able to see the form, because in the grass, all of us we can see our forms. We can see everyone else has a form. We can see the things in the form, objects in the form. Avyayam. What we are talking about is one doesn't have the sound, one can't be felt, the one which cannot be felt by touch, and one doesn't have any form, arupam, and one is hidden, avyayam. It is not visible to the human eye, physical eye, because it is available to the subtle eye. What is the subtle eye we are talking about? See, when you close your eyes and think, whether you meditate or you think about something, still you have a vision. That vision is psychological vision. It is based upon whatever you have seen, whatever you have accumulated, whatever is in memory, and that is being brought back. So when you think, yes, I am thinking of, I am going to Himalayas, then whatever photo you have seen, if you have already gone, because whatever images you have captured at that point of your visit, those things come to you. But they are the one, because based on your memory and all, it's not physically you are seeing it. So therefore, it is avyayam in the sense it is hidden in you to your eyes, but it is available to your inner eye. So the subtle thing is like that. As you are able to close, once you are able to close your eyes and get the vision, what we call the visualization comes when you are able to remove all the cobwebs of thoughts. Because if a lot of thoughts come about, you will not be able to get image. Even if you close your eyes and if you are bombarded with the thoughts, you will not be able to get the image of Himalayas or anything like that what you want to see. Even that will not be available. But then you will have to bring everything into a sort of the common denominator, where you will be able to focus, then you will be able to see. It is a psychology. Ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, avyayam. Tada arasam. It is not, you can't taste it. You can taste a coffee or a tea, but the subtle thing is not available to taste. And when you are able to get, it is something, because which you only can imagine. A person who has never taken a coffee, or if you have taken any other drink, if you want to tell him, explain as to how the drink tastes like, you will not be able to give it in words. Only finally you will ask him, why don't you taste yourself? You will find it. That the taste is more to be felt, so than to be expressed. It is to be experienced than to be expressed. So all these subtle things, what we call tanmatras, the gross things are subject to experience, like sound, shabdam, sparsham, rupam, and then what is form, arasam in the taste, everything, and gandham. Gandham is smell. Everything you can. It is all grass, and you will be able to experience it. But when it is ashabdam, devoid of sound, when it is devoid of touch, when it is devoid of form, and when it is it's devoid, it's not available to the eye, and it is not, you can't taste it, and you can't smell it. That is what they say. It is the subtlety of the highest realization, highest power, which is, you can say, is a God. How come, because why we go into this? Because, okay, we know what is experience. Why don't you explain with whatever we have experienced? The idea is you will not be able to explain with whatever you have experienced. It is the paradox, the perplexing paradox of the logical derivative to find what we can explain in terms of subtlety. You will not be able to do it. The perplexing paradoxes are replete in our scriptures. By virtue of that, they are bringing into the wonderful, the delineation of the ultimate power, which can be understood, which can be, had some sort of an idea. You will not be able to comprehend such a power and all, because this can be explained by very many experiences. We will go into some of the experiences to see how it has been experienced, but this is what it is done. How the subtle and gross differs. Let us say, it's say all the five elements, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, that is what we say is sound, touch, smell, and then form, and then, because available to the eye, when you want to see all these things, what is that? The only element which is having all the five things in the gross elements is earth. Earth has got all these five components. And if you simply remove the smell there from the earth, and it automatically falls into the other thing that is available is water. And in the water also, if you are trying to take the form out of that, it will be the fire. So after the fire, if you take, even that form is also, you are taken out, what is there, because which you are able to only feel for touch, that is air. And even if you say, there is no feel, that air is also taken out, it is only the, what we call ether, that is akasha, the firmament, the sky, which we are able to see. That is one thing, because you will not be able to touch it, you will not be able to hear the sound, you will not be able to get anything at all. But only thing is, it can create sound will be there, because whenever there is a thunder or something like that, you will be able to get. But even if you take that out, then what is there available is the space. The space is the one you will only say, because this is the space. But will you be able to explain the space? It doesn't have any. You will not be able to touch it. You will not be able to feel it. You will not be able to see it. You will not be able to hear it. And all those things are there. So therefore, this is a they have brought from gross elements, how they have derived the subtle elements. It is so subtle. So what happens with this physical body? We are able to feel and act based on the gross things. And once you are able to get into the subtlety of your inner journey, So once you have to give up, and then you will have to transcend the bodily experience. This is exactly brought about this why bodily experience in the sense, because when you are able to get, the amount of, because the clarity, the amount of, your ability to get the things done, and our ability to visualize what is likely to be there, because what is, what's really happening, you will not be able to see with the physical eyes. Physical eyes only will see, what the phenomena. It is noumena. Noumena is something, which is behind that, what is happening and all that. It is full of, because that if we could know, that's why, you will find great masters. Even when you go and in front of them and seek something, even before you tell, they know what you are up to. So like, one of the great examples of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa could know the feelings of Vivekananda. When Vivekananda went and asked him, it is that, why Ma Kali will talk to you, why she will not be talking to me? He was septic because he was questioning everything. And he is a man who has come from, the college, and he has seen, what is science, how the Western world has developed. And whereas Indians are still talking about the unknown thing called God, of course, he has seen, what is God and all. He has also gone through the certain, because he has got other streams of thoughts, because which was available to him. So he was questioning, because why Ma Kali will talk to you only? What is so special about it? Will she not talk to me? Then Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, yes, she will talk to you, provided you are having so much of a willingness to talk to her. He couldn't understand at that point of time. I repeat, you said this story earlier. So as he was getting into the Ganges to take the bath, he just took, Vivekananda also by his hand, and as they were in the neck deep water, he just pressed his head into the water for a while. So Swami Vivekananda, he gasped. He just couldn't stand for a long time. He came out. Because he came out to get the fresh air, because he can't, because he will be losing his sort of breathing. So then Ramakrishna said, you should have this much of a thirst to talk to her. It's not that, you will be able to. This is exactly racer's edge, what we talked about. The racer's edge is so much of, you should be totally committed, surrendered only to that process. Then you will be able to do that. So then he understood. So this is exactly, because how the masters have brought it by their own simple analogy as well as giving the simple experience. So it is, we must have such an unquenchable thirst in the sense towards, you will not be dissipating, because you can't, okay, it's not a sort of a temporal affair. It's not a, because pleasure, momentary pleasure. You can read a book, but when you read a book, because once you get involved, you don't want to stop reading the book till the last page. If it is so great a book, because you get the knowledge from that book. It is like that. But if a book is, not so good and all, you will just throw it away. It's not a temporary pleasure and all. It is not a ephemeral pleasure. It is a long abiding pleasure. It's a long abiding thought, which finally takes you to the highest level. That keeps you going into this world. So this is exactly, what they have brought about, the difference between the gross and the subtle. The subtle elements have been brought about in the Kathopanishad. Not only that, it is also being brought about in all other Upanishads, including Bhagavad Gita. We will also go to a particular verse in Bhagavad Gita, in the chapter 7, 4th verse, says the same thing, whatever has been said in gross and subtle elements. We will have to understand why such a gross and subtle, the differentiation is required. If we don't know the gross and subtle difference, the human growth, for the purpose, for which we have taken the human form, is useless. Because this purpose, what we have taken is, we have been given the ability to think, reflect, and find, because what is our real quality, in which we can excel, and we can do that. Is it that, only philosophical and this, what we talk about, because these are all people who can't do anything, we may say, because we are all sitting idle and they're talking. It's not like that. Last year, the Nobel laureate Anton Zillinger, who has got the Nobel Prize, for the disentanglement, in quantum science from Austria. In fact, because even our Prime Minister had gone recently, he had a meeting with him. He is an outstanding scientist. What he has said is, because, well, you can always have, you can get into a question and try to find, because your question is right, but your logical arguments are wrong. Logically, you will not be able to get into the right thing at all. So finally, what you get is, finally you should get through the intuition only you will be able to get. If you are logically approaching, lot of things would be impossible. A simple thing is a bumblebee, if you apply the laws of aerodynamics, cannot fly. But it is jolly well flies and enjoys itself and lives in this world as long as it can. That shows the bumblebee, because whatever it does is, it has understood the, because subtlety of its existence, it is still able to do it. Because it just, converges body into a small one while lifting it up. But after lifting, because it makes the body as mobile as possible in the air, it does it. So the bumblebee itself has demonstrated how a creature can understand the subtle power inside it. But we human beings, having the sixth sense, and we have got the ability to explore and explain, we are still been groping in the darkness to take us out of our own ignorance only. This entire, the Upanishad brings about verse after verse, taking us into the longest, most finer journey to live gloriously in this life with all the happiness attended to, both physically, psychologically, as well as emotionally. With all the happiness, when you are a personification of happiness in all the three phases. Nothing could come, because in front of you to bother you, agitate you, and all. We will be living here as long as we should, and we will live gloriously. That's what we are trying to do. That, and this is for the very purpose. This particular mantra has been brought about. Ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, avyayam. Rabdam, asparsham, arupam, avyayam, tatarasam, arasam, nityam, aganda, chatayatu. Because why, finally, what is that? Once you get the subtle effect of it, once you are so happy, what is that? Finally, you will be able to realize Anadi Ananta. The one time immemorial, what we call Sanatana is Anadi, is the time immemorial, it is there, primordial, because when it is there, from there onwards, because this power is created, this entire cosmos, the beings, and because all these beings, we are all able to get across, and because we are all changeable. We are here, with this body, but the soul is immortal. The soul continues to be Anadam Anantam. Mahataha Param Dhruvam, because it has got, it's not only the individual soul, Mahataha, it is a cosmic. It is occupying the entire interstellar space. The entire power is pervaded all through the entire universe, and beyond the universe, all the galaxies and all. But when you are able to access internally, such a great power, Param Dhruvam, Param in the sense it is the ultimate, the infinity. Dhruvam, in the sense, because it is fixed. It's not going to change. It's like a pole star. Pole star will be there. We say the nakshatra, Dhruva nakshatra is there, because the place is fixed. It's not that you will have to look around the sky where here or there and all. Once you know exactly where Dhruva is, it will be appearing there as it is. Nichaya, it has been well established by all the wise men, who have reflected upon themselves for years of year and brought this great knowledge to us. Tan mrityumkar pramuchyate. What happens is, once you have that subtle knowledge, once you have faced and once you have realized such a great power, you will not have any sort of a worry as to what is going to happen. Because what is we worried about always? How long we are going to live? So when it is, because when is it that finally the end will come, when it will come? Why are you worried about it? You will not be bothered about, because what we call, because it is a sort of a transition from transmigration from one stage to another. transmigration from one lower stage to one elevated higher stage, where you will be sort of getting the eternal pleasure. You are going to the everlasting pleasure, not that. So therefore, you don't be worried about death, and you will not be worried about how it is going to, what is happening in this world, this and that, and all. The world will happen it like that. And by you worrying, you are not the master of the world to change it. You are only master of yourself. So therefore, it is for you to change, not the world. This is what very clearly it said. And then once you have taken that into account, then you will be going miles apart, from what you the stage psychologically in this, and then what you will be in the sense, because basically we have in this world, we are in living in this world, we do acts because the act will have caused the expectations, because it will have, because once it expectation is there, the desire is there. So therefore, when it doesn't happen as desired or expected, so then fall down. Because instead of that, you will not be doing. Yes, you will be accepting what happens. You will be moving ahead. You may be winning a couple of battles here and there. Yes, General worth of the salt, will go till the end to win the war. You will not be bogged down by some small obstructions here and there and all. So you will be moving ahead with all the energy, with all the indefatigable energy. You will move forward with all the sort of enthusiasm. You will not be giving up, and your confidence will be stubborn, because you will not be unassailable confidence. You will be walking, with a straight face, and you will not be bothered about what happens in the way or what is going to come in the way and what has happened. This is exactly this particular one has brought about. So in this, because one of the things, what we'll have to understand is when we have all these things, is it that it makes you to do the things without any contamination. You are not bothered, because you don't find, because whether I can do it or I can't do it, whether I will have to do it, and you will choose the right thing, because you will not be getting into unnecessarily the things in which you can't do anything at all. What is in your power, what is in your capability, and what is you have got the skill set, you will be attempting those things. And when you don't have a skill set, when you are trying to find the goalpost, when you are trying to rise, and then will be accumulating, because you will be assembling the persons with the knowledge, or when you are assembling, you yourself will be equipping yourself and then moving forward. It is like how a great organizations are built. A startup builds into a small startup, becomes a multinational. How? Because not only that, because once they know, this is the one, they try to learn from every experience. They have got millions of failures. From each failure has contributed to their lesson, and from there they have learned, and whatever learning they had applied it. And then they found, what is the skill set that is required, because they find the verticals, and for each vertical, what is the skill set that is required. They find the right person, and they find the right sort of group. And once they assemble, and then they, because they are also, because you may not always succeed, because you may have an idea, whereas the world is going its own way. What you think, is going to be marketable, then there may not be any market for that. But then, you'll be doing the course correction. You will find what is that you will have to do, because it is always hit and run. Not that, you will go on finding out internally, because reflecting yourself, what is working, what is workable. But by that, what happens? You are creating a big community of people, who get the benefit of it. When you are creating an organization, let us say, when you realize yourself, what happens? Assuming even if you don't create an organization, because of you, so many people around you, so your family, your friends, your children, your known people, all of them will get the benefit of your experience, and how you have, you become a role model. And not only that, you are a evolving role model. You are not going to stop that because you have become a role model. It is a continuous process. It is not going to stop at one point of time. It is going to be there eternally. So our journey is eternal. Because we have taken a lot of births as per our philosophy. Not only that, it has been accepted by so many other philosophies across the world also. So when you are manifested in different form, you could have been something like an animal, you could have been something like a plant. You have evolved over a period of time, you have finally taken the shape. Once you have come to this shape, once you have taken this form, and you will be able to get across to the best part of the development, and is going to remain there. But you might not have completed. The journey is never complete. It is a work in progress. Whatever you have taken, yes, it is there. And once you transmigrate into a new manifestation, all these things are going to be available to you. The treasure trove, they are all in your safety vault. They will be available, and finally you will be getting into the journey as and when it is. When it happens, it is a continuous, that's what we are going about it. It's not that the journey is going to end here. It's only the journey. It will continue. Because we are as eternal, and as the mantra says, Anadyam Anantam Mahataha Param Dhruvam. So individually, because you will be transmitting, but at the same time, why you are getting into the journey, so that you are able to connect yourself to the cosmic wisdom that is available. The cosmic wisdom will be available not only in terms of, because what you are able to access, but in terms of the scriptures, in your religious moorings, not only that your experience, what you are getting, and the excellence, what you have brought into your work every day and all of them together, they are like a garland. So finally, when the garland, because it grows. So finally, when it goes every time and all, with that garland, you will be able to get to the pinnacle of the purpose for which we have come into this existence, and we will be able to realize that. So this is what exactly this mantra has talked about, and little more elaboration on this mantra we will take, and we are coming to the conclusion of the third Valli, and we have got two more mantras which are nothing but because they are going to tell what is the effect of because learning this Upanishad. What is the effect of because reciting this Kathopanishad? It is something called, what we call in Sanskrit is Palashruti. The benefit what you are going to get. The benefit is couched in such a term. It's not that you will be getting everything well and all, but it's also psychologically what stage you will be able to get into. How because the ones who recite and ones who hear and ones who have ones who are able to participate in the discussion, what are all the benefits they are going to get. So the great masters have said, and we have also got a similar mantra in the Gita that we will be seeing. It is in the chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita that we will also be seeing in the next session. With this, I will be concluding today's session. Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi, Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.